Well, welcome to another summer episode of the KeyMaster series. I'm Sven, and we've got Jörgen here again.
Yep, hi there.
And we're going to go over what FIPS 140-3 is, and when it comes to the HSM and things to think about with that as it comes out.
Yeah, so lately 140-3 FIPS standard start to make more and more noise. In fact, it's been around for 5 years. I think
5 years, so 2019?
2019, it was sort of decided or taken into effect by then, but then you had these grace periods and before you had to certify things. So I think was it 2021 was the last time you could actually certify a FIPS 140-2 device?
I think so.
Oh, something like that. And then there's been a bit of grace period because it's not NIST or FIPS doing a certification, it's the labs doing a certification, so they had to adopt to the new standard.
And then the FIPS 142 runs out in September 2026, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So then definitely by then everything's going to be FIPS 140-3.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're going to buy a new HSM in the near future, you probably would like to make sure it's going to be FIPS 140-3 compliant, certified, or.
So let's come back to that, and then what are some of the differences that we've got with that? What's changed?
Yeah, when I started to look into that, it was like the first thing that surprised me was that the -2 is like 20 years old. I think it was released in early 20s.
So almost when I came into PKI, because I've been doing this almost 18 years.
So that to me says it was a very different landscape back then.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, so it had to be. It's probably good that you refresh the standard to be supporting hybrids and all the new threats and things like that. So they changed the roles a little bit on how you sort of work with the roles. One obvious thing that I thought was there in the old one, but like when you're moving keys in and out of the HSM, now they have to be encrypted. I thought that was back in the old one as well, but no, it wasn't. So it's more modern, I would say. That's the thing.
The security's improved, obviously,
exactly.
to adapt.
I mean, just think 20 years back, like you said, it's time. And also, this now when we're talking about this -2 and -3, don't confuse that with the level 2, level 3.
With the level assurance, like level 1 or level 2 after that.
Exactly, up to level 4. So it's like that's another thing. That's sort of the evident tamper-resistant sort of things.
As you go up there, and like by the time you get to a level 4, that's like it just blows up if something happens.
Yeah, exactly. Which you probably only want to use if you're going to deploy that HSM in a hostile environment that you don't have control over.
So probably militaries, governments would use that with their
co-location.
I can say I've never seen any in what I've done with my work in the last years like this. Always been level 3.
Yeah.
I only interacted with a level 2 once for a card management system. That was it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, everything was always a level 3.
Yeah. So that's a good one. I mean, go for the level 3 if you're going to aim for an HSM there. Yeah, that gives you a good sort of security and sort of methods.
So for a migration, do you think current HSMs that are there could be upgraded to the new FIPS 140-3 from the hardware side? Because firmware could probably be up there, but from a hardware side, do you think that's possible on some of the chassis that are out there today? Or will
that's interesting.
I, as a company or individual, need to go buy a whole new HSM to be able to upgrade to this and be able to use it?
That could be a bit of a thing to look into, because we've seen some vendors who actually now do FIPS 140-3 on their existing hardware platforms. Probably other ones will not support it, so you need to get the new hardware. So that's a conversation to have with your vendor.
Definitely, talk to your vendor.
And then like the other big topics we talk about, the post-quantum.
Oh,
so throw that one in as well. Like, well, will that impact the hardware and packaging? And what about the FIPS certifications? So if you need FIPS, if you need to run it in FIPS mode and you're about to purchase a new HSM, there's quite a few things to look into.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because you don't just ask if it's FIPS certified. You need to future-proof, like 5 years from now, support for post-quantum algorithms. And if I already have a PKI running, can I take those keys and move it into this new FIPS 140-3 hardware device? As always with HSMs, I would say you can transfer keys within the vendor's sort of HSM family.
But it never hurts to ask and make sure,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
The
I think the
whole-
vendors will go to a long way to support that because otherwise, I mean, they sort of risk the business, I guess. So
Wow.
because you would have to start over your PKI from beginning again, or use that old HSM that goes end of life, which is no good. So it's
Something to think about there.
yeah,
So definitely some things to think about then for migrating like that.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I mean, it seems like a great update, long overdue.
oh yeah, it's
More
good.
enhanced security with this. It's compliant with the ISO now, isn't it too? It was compliant with ISO
Good point. Yeah.
19790.
Yeah, exactly. The year and a zero. That's
Yeah.
how I've tried to remember it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's a good point as well. So it sort of becomes more like an ISO standard thingy. That's good.
A little more operability in the world then
Yeah.
that it's going along with ISO standard, not just FIPS in its own little
Yeah.
silo like that.
And having an HSM that is sort of FIPS certified, and even now certified with the new standard, that's a good platform for running a good PKI or signing a solution, I think, because you know it's been well tested.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely it's going to be fun seeing these updates come out. Definitely be having conversations with your HSM vendor as you get ready to migrate to that. And
Actually, I have one more thing that I realized.
oops.
On the NIST website, where you have this FIPS certification.
Yeah.
If you look up your HSM, there's a document there from the vendor
Yeah.
called Security Policy Document.
Yeah.
They actually describe pretty well how they fulfill all these requirements, and they tell you how it operates. So if you're a bit nerdy, that's good HSM reading for your HSM.
Oh, bedtime stories. Who doesn't love a good bedtime story?
Yeah.
So yeah, all right. And that's how we can say, go check out that for a good bedtime story on your HSM upgrade. All right, guys. See you in the next episode. Take care.
Take care.